Goodness Games. Hello?
Hey, you got a letter today.
Hey, I got a letter.
Mail time, mail time, mail time.
Oh my god, dude, really?
Yeah, that was a good show.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it gets, I want to say, please kill me.
Hey, you're ruining it.
Welcome, folks, on Making This Game. It's Katawa Shoujo Rinroot. Where, hey, didn't we get this letter already? This thing looks...
What are you talking about, Ryan? This is the first time we ever got
This
this
is the first
letter.
time I ever saw this letter. What do you mean? Who the heck is Iwanako?
Y'all know what you guys.
She's got a face that you can't even pinpoint because she doesn't have a revealed face at all. That's what made drawing her super hard on my Watchmen poster. Oh, man. So, shall we just start
You
up?
mean that poster up there?
Yeah, the watch, remember?
Where is she? Point to her.
Alright, so here's the poster, by the way. I have a poster of the entire cast of Watchmen and Katawa Shoujo put together. It was for a college project, but Iwanako is right there. She's even holding the letter.
Let me see that.
right between Yuko and Hanako. She's even holding the letter.
Oh wow! The way you did that's very, very clever.
Well, what was I supposed to do? I can't draw her face. I don't know what she looks like. Alright.
That is very clever, though.
Come sit.
Hey, that the little comic you made about who's this guy?
Who's that guy?
Oh, that's Dr. Manhattan.
Remember that thing you had that her and this girl?
And Emmy?
Yeah. At the end of this episode, you gotta post that. Show it to everybody, because that was pretty funny.
Okay, I'll animate it. I'll voice it.
Ryan got clever with Emmy's face. He used two different face poses and put them together to make an entirely new one, and it looks very chinky.
Okay, yeah.
It looks very chinky.
You'll see it at the end. It involved crossing over Katawa Shoujo and Watchmen for something.
Oh my god, if you guys are a fan, if all you Katawa Shoujo fans, if you are a fan of Watchmen 2, you're gonna love this.
Alright, I'm gonna regret that later, but okay.
What do you mean?
I don't know, it's just more work.
You're more work.
I can immediately tell from the Alright, so let's read what's going on in this letter that we totally never saw before.
You saw it before.
I can immediately tell from the envelope that it's not about official matters of any sort. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned, handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that in this day and age anyway? Yet, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, there's definitely a letter lying on my desk.
So take the letter, Maria.
Yeah, okay, so it's different. The classes for today are over. Still feeling pretty full from the big lunch that I had unexpectedly eaten at the cafeteria. I returned to my dorm, planning on finishing my homework and probably skipping dinner. Or at least just eating light. I feel like I need to eat less than I used to. I feel like I need to eat less than I used to. Maybe I don't use that much energy, now that I don't do as much beyond reading.
We all know I don't have to eat. I don't have to eat.
However, the letter on my desk has naturally caught my interest.
I'm starting to get a belly.
It's the first piece of mail I received here at Yamako, so it'd feel special even if it wasn't something as rare as a handwritten letter.
Ryan, do I look fat?
I don't know. Why stop showing me that?
Jeez, what's
causes
the big deal?
What causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender, written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanako. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred. And Iwanako's the last person I expect I'd want to write me a letter. The last time I saw Iwanako was terribly awkward. Embarrassingly so.
Oh no, the sad music.
She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then we practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said goodbye, and didn't look me in the eye when she closed the door. It might have been a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. Iwanaka always had this aura of fragility around her, as if she'd shatter into pieces at the slightest disturbance. Initially, I think it might have been that delicacy that attracted me to her. But after what happened back then, it felt as if she had shattered. She looked so sad that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her. I never could figure out the right words to say. I told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if I hadn't been that, then sooner or later something else would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened the door and entered my room. So I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Carefully, I open the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within. And we've actually read all this before. It's even the same letter.
Could you read it to me again? I forgot what it said.
Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second year class got put together in class 3-1 for the final year, so we're pretty comfortable right from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third years seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they're so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Do you believe it? I was sure he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I'm always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think that we're already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I'm feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. Yeah, in Japan, they don't do 4 years, they do 3 years. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said about after the incident back in winter. Actually, I'm trying to remember, did we read this? This actually isn't sounding too familiar in the other playthrough.
It sounds a lot longer, too.
I think, actually, Hisao didn't read it. He opened it, skimmed it, and threw it away. Yeah, I think that's it. In this one, I think he actually reads it. And I think he does something else. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it. The truth is, the times when I visited you at the hospital made me worried about you. I'm not talking about your health. You seem to become more distant and disheartened. It was natural after something like that happened, I'm sure, but somehow I got the feeling that you'd given up on something back then. Happiness, maybe? I do remember reading this at some point, but now I can't remember. I wanted to somehow express my feelings, but the right words didn't come to me. I couldn't say anything to comfort you. I'm really sorry for not being able to support you even when it mattered the most. Even though I like you so much. At least now, finally, I can be more honest. Holy jeez, the paper doesn't even look that big. If I could go back to these quiet days of February and March, I'd tell you not to give up on yourself. That's what I would say. Maybe you wouldn't have drifted so far away if I had just said something. Hope you managed to get back on your feet on your own. Now that the distance between us is also physical, it also feels more final. Somehow I wonder if we'll meet again. Perhaps it's for the best if we don't. Still, if you would like to correspond with me, by all means write me back. I'd very much like to hear about your new school and how you're doing. I wish you all the best. Sincerely, Iwanako. After finishing reading the letter...
Oh, that's so sweet.
After finishing reading the letter, I fold it like it was and place it on my desk. I don't know what to think of this. I feel empty and confused. Why now, after all this time? Just yesterday I decided that I can't let myself stay like this. That I try to get on top of my own life. Reading this letter just reminds me of what could have been. Of course I wish that I didn't have to be here. I'd want to be in the same class with Iwanako again. Maybe we would talk every now and then, go on dates.
Yeah, I was just about to say, be boyfriend and girlfriend?
My life didn't go like that. I didn't really need to be reminded of this. Iwanako needed to write this letter for her own sake, and I'm glad for her that she could, but it could have been better if I hadn't read it. Of course, she is right. I thought of the same thing yesterday. I fell into a pit of depression and now have to try to climb out. I rip out a page of my notebook, and after a moment of thinking how to frame my words, I write a short reply to Iwanako. Oh, he didn't do this in Hanako's route! Which we didn't do. Shut up.
Oh, come on.
Hey, you started it!
Yeah, but you ended it as soon as the first episode started.
I find it difficult to really be honest with her, but at least I try to appear somewhat convincing. I don't write her about Yamako at all. I doubt she'll write me again, but I don't feel all that sad about it. I fold my own letter to her. And as I have no envelope, I set it next to Iwanako's. I'll mail it to her later.
We don't even see what he writes?
Yeah, that would be cool. Then I lie back on my bed, looking at the monotone gray ceiling. A bird sings outside my window, and a sudden gust of wind flutters my curtains. Summer afternoon feels still, as if some time had stopped for a brief moment. I think about all the things I've lost and will never regain. Oh man, ain't that a mood killer? He's like, I'm gonna go for my future. Dang it, past, go away. Thus the Langley days of mid-June pass by. I mail my letter to Iwanako and receive no reply. Having decided to ditch the old me, I start observing my fellow students even closer than I did before, hoping to understand how other people cope with their own issues. I start seeing things I didn't before. It makes me wonder if I've been wrong twice. Superficially, everyone is abnormal, yet so strikingly normal. I hope you don't hear that lawnmower. I so hope you don't. I admired the way my new schoolmates turned my prejudice around just like that, simply by being themselves. Now that I've gotten used to it...
What's the word prejudice mean again?
Huh?
What's the word prejudice mean again?
Prejudice? You like this thing, or you're different in some way. I don't like you.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Now that I've gotten used to it, I began noticing other kinds of tones in other people's and the people surrounding me every day. There's a soft, numb sadness around me. I can see the effort everyone has to make just to get through the day. Now it weighs on their shoulders, like it weighs on mine. Even the brightest smile is just slightly subdued. Every outburst of annoyance just slightly dampened. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. I try to think what it means, what I can learn from others. I wonder if deep down everyone is as lost as I am. Is there even one person in here who has truly found peace? I start to feel doubtful about myself once again. I can't decide whether these people are happy, unhappy, or if they just learn to cope and now live in an unfeeling limbo like it did all spring. I escape from these feelings into the towering piles of books I carry to my room from Yuko's sanctuary. After realizing that this will just shut me down even more, I start going to the art club's room more often than usually whenever I can. Rin seems to spend more time in there than in their own classroom. I've often seen her tutor towards the door at the very end of our corridor. That wooden door in the room behind it, spelling of paint and paper, seemed to mean more to her than the rest of the world combined. She says she has special permission to use the room, which I don't doubt at all. I don't think Nomiya would deny Rin anything. He seems to dote on her like an uncle upon a favorite niece. The object of his affection, however, has no favorites. She says she appreciates the teacher a lot for going the extra mile for her sake, but even when she says that, her expression is always the same. It's as if she's talking about a particularly unremarkable rock that she saw the other day. I can't really figure out their relationship. Rin doesn't seem to let anyone close. I don't even think Emmy could say she's crossed the gap that seems to separate Rin from the rest of the world. I don't understand it. She seems so indifferent, yet so passionate at the same time. Somewhere the school bell rings in the last call of the day. I realize I've been zoning out for who knows how long. Dazed, I sit up straighter, trying to look as inconspicuous as possible. Pungent smells of linseed oil and turpentine mix in my nostrils as I draw a deep breath. I feel drowsy and lightheaded. It's already this late and a few club members left early, so it's just me, Rin, the teacher, and 2 other girls who are also about to leave. Yo! Hey dude, have we seen this picture?
I have not.
Oh man, those are some baggy pants. Rin is sitting to my right, slowly working on a painting while I'm idling the time away. I don't think she realizes I've been watching her this whole time.
As soon as I saw those baggy pants, it made me think of MC Hammer.
Hammer Man! Hammer Man!
Can't touch this.
With a nimble move of her delicate ankle, she dips the brush into crimson paint and presses it lightly under the canvas. A stain spreads around, as if the brush was bleeding. Her progress is slowed down to a crawl, but now I've learned that this is dangerous for her technique, as the paint must not be allowed to dry before she's finished. It occurs to me that I'm literally watching paint dry, and somehow I'm not feeling bored, despite spacing out just now. Most of the time, the art club is very relaxed and freeform. Apart from times when Nomiya gets really excited about some technique or style he wants to teach us about, everyone else is free to pursue their own interests. Lacking one, I keep floating around without a direction. I try this and that, but nothing really leaves me for a deeper impression. Not to mention I don't seem to have a special knack for anything. Well, I did get praise for my attempt at watercolors, and I felt pretty good about that myself, but that's it. Suppose it's to be expected. I joined the art club mostly on a whim, after all. I think that maybe I should quit the club. It's gonna be this pointless, but I think that maybe I should quit the club. If it's gonna be this pointless, but there's nothing really wrong with pointlessness if I can't exactly say I'm unhappy. Unsatisfied maybe, but I've got myself to blame for that. As the pair of girls exit the club room with a cheerful bye-bye, Nomiya stands up from his desk. His chair scoots back with a loud screech that breaks the harmony of this quiet afternoon. He taps a pile of papers in his hands twice against the tabletop in order to straighten them, then stretches his back. I have a faculty meeting to attend, so I can't stay. I'll have to do some paperwork later, so if you want, you can stay. So if you want to stay, we can talk then. Sorry about this.
You're forgiven.
There are 2 people here, but he's really talking only to only one of us. Nomiya spends extra hours of his time mentoring Rin
There's
after.
only 2 people there right now?
Yeah, him, Rin, and Hisao, Rin, and him. The 2 girls just left.
I assume you were in class.
He's just said, there are 2 people here. He's talking about me and Rin, but he knows he's only talking to Rin.
Oh, okay.
Nomiya spends extra hours of his time mentoring Rin after official club hours are over. I'll bet he'd like to discuss his plan of getting Rin's art into a gallery a little more.
It's alright. I think I'll probably be here. It's not a big deal. But if it's not a big deal if I'm not...
Wait.
It's alright. I think I'll probably be here. But if it's not a big deal if I'm not, I don't really have much going now.
Rin answers without moving her eyes from her work in progress. The tone of her voice is neither the polite kind, neither the polite kind expect when talking to a teacher, nor her usual monotone. So I won't need to send a search party if you aren't here?
Yes, no thanks. I don't like the party. We can talk later.
Good girl. Smiling, the teacher picks up the rest of his papers and makes his way to the door. I glance at the clock above and then at my watch to double check. They're 3 minutes apart, but nevertheless, the club meeting's time's over now. Rin seems intent on staying here to work on her piece while waiting for the teacher. I can't quite imagine what their one-on-one time would be like. Would they actually discuss anything? Rin's always so subdued in what she says, and when she does say something, it's difficult to understand what she's talking about. Maybe Nomiya just talks endlessly like he does at art club meetings, letting Rin absorb what... Ugh! Dang pizza! Letting Rin absorb what she will from the infinite well of art knowledge, like a sunflower turning to face the glowing sun. Do you mind if I stay? I thought maybe I'd give watercolors another try. I blurted out the excuse sort of accidentally, embarrassing myself. Rin doesn't take her eyes off her painting.
Okay.
I shift around my chair, then get to fetching a cup of water, brushes and colors, and some paper. The sound of my footsteps invade the still afternoon air. Before starting, I try to recall what the teacher told us. The important philosophy of the medium. Working with watercolors means working with water, means more working with water than working with color. I try to keep that in mind and dip my tiny stable brush into the water cup. I'm mixing yellow and blue, trying to capture the sunlit treetops outside the window. The sun is low, so the yellows are more pronounced and everything looks darker. I still can't quite connect what I see with what in my head goes within the paint, but it's a passable attempt for my level. After a while, I start losing my focus and move the paper aside, deciding to watch Rin work for a while instead. That little while stretches first to a long while, and then to a really long while. Rin paints her entire being fully concentrated on the brush between her slender toes and the painting coming to life one stroke at a time. That is a skull! And a bunch of lips! Look at this, got lips with teeth, and then a skull. She's so determined and yet at the same time relaxed, effortlessly moving the brush around and never hesitating. Colors meet in part, mix and cover each other on the canvas, blending into her quiet will. I don't know anything about composition, structure, or any of that stuff, but I really like Rin's paintings. I like how she looks when she paints. As usual, the silence between us compels me to speak rather than merely wait for her to open up. She might end up saying nothing at all. Do you mind if we talk?
I don't mind.
I wanted to ask more about why you get so weird about things the teacher wants to arrange for you. Rin picks up a tube of paint and squeezes it between her toes on a palette, almost as easily as someone with opposable thumbs would. Taking up a brush again, she replies,
A lot of things. And some not things. Unthings. I don't think that's a word.
Do you want to talk about it? I try to reach out to her clumsily, ignoring the embarrassing feeling of awkwardness. Rin keeps her focus on the painting, spreading more and more paint on the canvas. Her lips forming a perfectly straight line as she concentrates on the job.
Not really. Talking is hard. I mean, it's not hard. I'm talking even now. But saying the right things is really hard for me. No matter what, I just can't say the things I want.
That sounds weird.
It's true. I say all kinds of things that I don't really mean all the time. And sometimes I forget words and then I use the wrong words. I even come up with new words for things that I already have some. That's the worst thing. I get really nervous and everything comes out a mess and I don't even really understand what I want to say. I think there's something wrong with me that makes it like this. Remember when I said I can only think of 4 things at the same time?
I nod wordlessly.
It's not really 4. I mean, it's 4, but everything else is also kind of in the background. Like an amusement park and a beehive at the same time. But that's not the point.
Dude, are you listening?
Yeah, what's it?
I used to do better. Like 6 or 7 things. I think so, at least. I feel like I'm becoming dumber.
Hey!
I think everyone has those times when they feel like they can't say the right things.
But it's there, but it's there all the time. Stronger and deeper. Yeah, deeper is a good word. I like that word. Deeper. It's that feeling of being underwater. Maybe it's just art. The more I paint, the more words I forget. Maybe at some point I'll forget how to speak completely. Feels like I'm slowly forgetting everything. Do you remember what you thought about? Do you remember what you thought about 3 or 4 years ago? I don't.
A long pause ensues, during which time seems to bend around itself, almost trying itself. Also, you should see she's making like tons of expressions during this. During which time she seems to bend around itself, almost tying itself into a knot. I don't think I've ever heard Rin talk this earnestly and for so long about anything before.
It's like I'm fading away from the world.
Oh, zoom in!
Oh, boy.
Rin's foot has stopped its work on the canvas and is staring at her painting, unmoving as if gazing at something at some faraway horizon. Sunlight briefly glints in the corner of her own eyes. Something floats up into the top layer of Rin's being, and she lets out a long breath. She then blinks and it's gone.
Paintings stay behind. When I look at my old things, I remember what I was thinking back when I made them. They make me feel like I can be with all the past me's when I was a different me. I guess they're the proof of my existence.
She uses the exact same words Nomi used when he spoke to us of the nature of art. I didn't think Rin was paying any attention back then. I wonder if she was listening, or whether she had heard the same passionate speech from Nomi before. Either way, I feel overwhelmed. Boy, are you complicated. I would have taken up writing a diary. Oh, shoot. I think she's gonna say a line I really like. Her eyes quickly flicker in my direction and, hey, dude, are you sleeping?
No, I'm not sleeping.
Okay.
Why would I be sleeping?
I don't know. You're not even looking.
I'm resting my eyes and I don't feel like looking that way because it's uncomfortable for me.
Her eyes quickly flicker in my direction and back to the painting, but she doesn't pick up the brush anymore.
Dun 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 dun. Your favorite?
Wait, hold on. Boy, are you complicated? I would have taken up writing a diary.
That's a great idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Hey, she just
Yeah, what? Yeah, what? Are you being sarcastic?
Wait, he says that.
No, hold up. Are you being sarcastic?
What's sarcastic?
Are you being sarcastic?
What's sarcasm?
I didn't call her on the joke, if it is one. Right at the moment, Nomiya returns from his meeting. He waves us a very melodramatic hello, mildly surprised to see me here along with his pet student.
What's melodramatic?
Melodramatic, like over-dramatic in a way.
Sort of like sarcasm?
I guess you could. Walking into a boisterous gate in his desk, he drops his papers upon it. He picks up a handkerchief and cleans his glasses with incredibly meticulous care before walking over to us. Before he's within earshot of us, Rin says something to me in a quick, quiet voice.
Change is the scariest thing in the world to me. And I seriously don't know if I want to change into a person who could do the thing the teacher wants me to do. I don't know if I could if I even wanted to.
Hello again! Hello.
Hello.
So, did you catch what you just said?
Yeah.
Change is scary to her. What? What's going on? He smiles a bit sheepishly, looking at both of us with uninhibited interest. Nothing. We were just talking about that thing with your acquaintance and the gallery for Rin's work, sort of. Oh, any decisions? I look at Rin, who's trying to arrange the bothered expression in her face into something else. Anyway, I don't think I have much else to say other than that you should go for it. Alright. Okay. You're not looking, but...
Well, read me the decisions.
Alright. I think you'd be a big hit. You should aim high. Because it would be exciting.
I'm gonna be honest. I think she'd be a big hit.
I'm just looking through. Want to be... Hold up.
What?
I'm just looking through.
What does it say?
I'm just looking through it, just double checking.
Oh, you're not gonna tell me, are you?
Alright. So we're on... Alright. I think we're good. So what'd you say?
Wait. I said I think you'd be a big hit, but is that the right choice?
I'm not sure, really.
It doesn't say.
Well, there's multiple, and they all seem to lead to the same scene. There's no mention of flags or anything. I don't think the choices actually matter just yet here.
Well, I'll be honest with my gut. I think she'll be a big hit.
Okay. I think you'd be super popular. I mean, your paintings are really amazing. And you paint with your feet. That's really cool, too. I bet people would be amazed.
It's not a big deal. I would paint with my hands if I had any.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Rin turns away, looking at her painting wistfully. I want to take back what I said if it was what made her... I want to take back what I said if it was what made her make that face.
I get it.
Rin looks absent-mindedly at me, not saying anything. I can't even tell if my words had any effect on her. I just don't get it. Anyone else would be jumping up and down in excitement. What's the point of doing your best being at this art club if you don't want anything, if you don't do anything with your talent? I'm telling you, I'm gonna be angry with you if you give this up. My voice raises higher. I don't really know what makes me say this. I feel like I've been taken over by some force out of my control, and I really do feel angry. Images of a letter written on cute stationery flash in my mind. Images of the masked faces of my parents, my doctors, images of the time I've wasted. They mix in my feelings about Rin like a turn of molten iron. I want to continue, but Rin suddenly stands up.
Fine. I'm going.
She trots out in the room without anyone saying anything. I stare after her, still seething, though with the voice of rationality in the back of my head, wondering if I made her angry as well. The teacher lets out an embarrassed but extraordinarily loud laugh. You care a lot for her, don't you? Romeo looks at me over his circular pink glasses, smiling sympathetically. You've made friends with her then? You've made friends with her then, Nakai? Well, something like that, I guess. It depends on how you look at it. To be honest, I'm not really sure. It's more like me and Rin just tend to hang around each other regularly. Talking or not about something that's more often resembles some twisted mockery philosophy, rather than normal everyday things that friends chat about. Well, that's all good, isn't it? You're a student, and we should be promoting integration into the student body and such. I can't remember all the buzzwords they spew at faculty and Yamaku Foundation meetings, but that's how it is. Tezuka isn't the most social person around these parts either. Yeah, that's definitely true.
I can't help but think. Whenever he says Tezuka, I think of bazooka, like a bazooka.
Bazooka
gun.
Joe!
Like a bazooka gun. Who's Bazooka Joe?
The gum. That gum?
Oh, right. Right.
So she's talking about my suggestion to you? No, not really. I think it's more of me pressing her to decide something. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Oh, I'm sure it's fine. I'm too soft with her, even when I shouldn't. I don't really know how to handle Tezuka. She's so independent and willful. I wonder if this is what every old geezer of an art teacher would do. I wonder if this is what every old geezer of an art teacher who got his hands on a young and fiery prodigy felt like.
He chuckles ironically to himself a bit, turning to face Rin's latest work she left drying on the easel. She departed so abruptly that I wonder if she considers it finished.
So, let's see the painting then.
He leans in closer, peering at the canvas.
It draws you in, doesn't it?
Nomiya stands back straight, his face a dreamy, nostalgic visage. I won't answer him, as he seems to be taking my agreement as a given.
I sometimes stay here after hours just to look at Tezuka's paintings. She's really just prodigious. And at such a young age, I get shivers just thinking of what she could become in just a few more years of refinement. You asked what makes an artist, remember? This is it. Take a piece of the world and reshape it in your own image. Metaphorically, of course. Looking at her.
Yeah, because Hitler tried doing that. We all know how that turned out.
Dude, he was a failed artist. He gave up on that.
No. I meant like his image was a world without Jews, and he actually tried going for reshaping the world literally.
No, it wasn't just Jews. It was anyone who wasn't Aryan.
Still, that's technically... You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Hitler tried literally doing that, and it turned into massacre.
Uh-huh. Looking at
So I'm glad he said metaphorically speaking, obviously.
Looking at her makes you wonder what the world looks like through her eyes. It's a wonderful thing to be young and full of passion, the most extraordinary time of your life. You would do well to remember that, Nakai.
Yes, sir.
It's so silly. People always ask artists, where do you get your ideas? As if ideas were something sold at the market for pocket change. You can't explain inspiration. For people like Tezuka, it's like breathing. It's an instinct. I've met maybe one or two with the same kind of raw potential, but no amount of potential will amount to anything if one doesn't work to realize it. It's practice, technique, skill. Draw for an hour every day for a few years, and even the most hopeless case becomes a passable artist. Tezuka's not brilliant because she's born with a natural talent for this kind of thing. She's brilliant because she works harder than anyone. Ever since she learned to hold a pen, most likely.
Ooh.
And all of it with a feat, no less. Absolutely phenomenal.
Silence finally lands in the clubroom as Nomiya lets himself get drawn back into Rin's painting, gently murmuring acceptance towards the still wet canvas. What kind of things did you paint yourself? As if waking from a reverie, he looks at me, surprised at my talking to him.
Oh, I don't. Not anymore. I became an art teacher only after my career in the field came to an end. Now I just pass on knowledge to the next generation.
The way Nomiya answers is curious, both giving and withholding information. I feel like asking more, but he cuts in before I get a chance.
Now you should run along, my boy. It's almost dinner time, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Have a good evening.
You too.
I quickly collect my stuff and step out the deserted hallway, leaving the teacher alone with his musings. The weekend will be here soon. It's amazing how fast time flies here. I promised Emmy I'd join her for the celebration of her triumph at the track meet last week. That should be plenty of fun. Alright! That's a good point because it is almost 40 minutes!
Okay, yay.
Sorry about that, folks! But luckily we seem to have some viewers that stay for the whole thing. And I'll tell you, we really appreciate that.
And for those who did, here's the treat at the end. Ryan's going to post this.
Oh, yeah! So here's a thing. It's actually right at this scene. So, the treat at the end, thank you for coming to the
episode. Wait, is it literally at the scene?
Yes, I used this background.
Oh, that's hilarious!
So for staying here, here's a little extra thing of Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen interacting with Emmy. Enjoy, and see you on the next episode.
Bye-bye!
Bye! So you see, Miss Barazaki, your decisions are only relative to you. Time is simultaneous. Your past, present, and future are all visible to you on a cosmic scale.
I don't think I got any of that. You're probably better off talking to Rin if you're gonna go on about relatives and cosmics. What do you think, Hisao?
I'm sorry, Doctor, but can you please put some pants on? I don't see how he can be comfortable like that. My apologies. I thought that this was an arrow game.